Probier TV on the road, and with me is Andrew. He's a brewer from Brewdog, and Liam, he's a sales guy from the same brewery. And we're drinking together a beer that has blueberry in its name, but it's not blue at all. Andrew, where's the blueberry in that one?
It's a blueberry puree that goes in the whirlpool, but then also it's blueberry extract, which we'll add in as well for the really punch through the aroma.
Yeah, it has a lot of blueberry in the aroma. Yeah.
Yes.
You as a brewer, when Brewdog is known for the punk IPA, of course, my favorite is the Elvis Juice, but the strong hoppy beers. Yeah. Are you going to stick with that, or are you going to experiment a little bit around different beer styles?
We brew just about anything in terms of beer styles. So most recently we have a few Imperial Stouts out. One's a collaboration with Fierce Beer called Most Moose. Okay. That's a 12% Imperial Stout. We're actually quite known for our stouts as well. And now we're pushing into the sour beer market with launching Overworks. So that's at the minute releasing Saisons with either mixed culture fermentations. We're also breaded or wild yeast strains put in there. But and further down the line will be lambics and gozes. They're in the barrel at the minute. They're in the process of being made, but it'll be at least a year to 3 years before they're released. And then we are experimenting with a few different lagers at the minute.
Okay. Is lager becoming the next hot thing in craft beer?
Well, it kind of is, but it's not necessarily lager as you know it. For us, it's going to be a beer that we'll be launching soon called Lost Lager.
Okay.
It's a variation on dry hop Pilsner. And we have experimented with other styles, but we think it's kind of hard to penetrate the market with that sort of style because people are still kind of edgy to it. But for us, that real sort of crisp refreshiness of a Pilsner with that sort of extra aroma from the dry hopping is what seems to be quite it's quite popular at the minute, especially for us. We just did a collaboration with a brewery from Amsterdam called Oedipus. Yeah. That was an India Pale lager, and it turned out fantastic. And we have this dry hop Pilsner was the name of the beer that we released, but now we've made a few adjustments, improvements to the recipe, and we're going to release that in cans pretty soon under the name of Lost Lager, and that will be a regular going for us because our lager that is a headliner at the minute, Kingpin, we are going to be dialing that back and making it just an exclusive for the bars, and this will take its place as a much more approachable for the craft beer market as a whole.
Okay. Yeah, so Liam, you are the guy who has to sell the beer he brews. From market-wise, talking about Brewdog, as I mentioned, the punk IPA is the real classic, maybe probably one of your best-selling beers. Yes. But can you see any movement going to beer styles like lager? Because I was 3 months ago, I was in the US, and every craft beer brewery there who is brewing the most hoppy, most fancy, most funky IPA is now starting to brew plain lagers. So is it a movement that you can see also on continental Europe?
Yes, I think a lot of the craft breweries are trying to create a beer that can engage the non-craft beer drinker to take them on a journey through craft beer in itself as a whole. So obviously starting with a really bitter and hoppy IPA can sometimes be a bit too much on the palate for someone who drinks a standard lager. So I think that craft lager will start growing over the years as more breweries start to branch out and really communicate with total beer drinkers and not just the craft market. And a lager is the perfect introduction beer style to get people on board and start their journey through craft beer.
And the second beer that a lager guy would drink from the Brewdog range, what would that be? Would it already be the punk IPA, or would they start with more softer, lighter drinks?
I think normally what we would say is that if you try the craft lager to introduce you to it, we would normally say then try punk. As punk is our flagship beer, it's the #1 selling beer in the UK off-trade.
Really?
Yeah. So it would always be let them try punk and experience that, and from there we have a range of different beer styles, even within IPAs, such as Elvis Juice if you want something grapefruit infused, or Hazy Jane, which is an East Coast IPA, which is a lot less bitter, but it's a lot more juicier and fruitier. So we would normally then recommend trying punk IPA, and from there kind of branching off and then going crazy and trying some of the more incredible beers that we make.
Is it the first time for you both here in Vienna?
Yeah.
So, have you had the chance to try any local beers?
Yes.
So,
Yep.
So, what's your favorite one so far?
For me, I guess the Imperial Vienna Lager from
So, Muttermilch, okay.
Muttermilch. Yeah. I mean, it's a style that you don't often see much. Again, it's a lager, but it is an authentic take on it. For some reason, just I enjoy the Imperial version much more. It's 6%, so it's not too strong. But it's still very drinkable, very sweet, quite approachable, and that's a perfect example of the style.
Okay. So you agree with them? Or do you have a
For me,
favorite?
it's the Mandarina Weisse.
Okay.
Sour beers are kind of the up-and-coming beer style right now, and I absolutely love them, and it's a great representation of a Berliner Weiss.
Okay. So, if you see somebody at the headquarters of Brewdog, tell them we need a Brewdog bar here in Vienna. So,
We will.
So thank you very much.
No problem.
Nice talking to you, and cheers.